Hey, hey. Hi, everyone. I am Melinda Rychlik-Clark with Empower the Yet. I want to talk to you today about empower women of the Bible. And the one that we're going to talk about today is Leah. So for those of you who do not know me, I am a life and business coach that help busy moms really get clarity on their business by using VA strategies, VA assistance, as well as mindset coaching. And so I really help them break free through the coaching process to help them, kind of get rid of that self-sabotage, that mindset block that might be holding them back, so they can live happy, joyous, and free in Christ and grow a business to change their family tree. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and get started about Leah. Okay, so this might be a little hard for some of you guys because Leah's story is a little gut-wrenching if you really want to get real with it. In Genesis 29, Jacob was blessed with Leah as his wife, and then he was really pining and wanting Rachel. Leah's dad had other plans because in their culture they don't normally give the youngest one, and so he had to work for a longer period of time, but he knew that it was worth it because he was really in love with Rachel. And so here Leah was newly married and really was crazy about Jacob. Totally in love with Jacob. And so, but she didn't have Jacob's favor. And so God blessed her with children, right? And so God was blessing her with children thinking, here is the fruit of this relationship. And, back then women really, that was huge for them to have children, right? That was a huge blessing from God. And it was an honor. And it was, back then it was kind of taboo if women didn't have children. Of course, they didn't have all the things that we have today when women are in those types of situations. And so Leah had children. And you would think as a mom, right? God was like, maybe, this will show her that, to love me just as the way things are. These are my blessings from the situation. He was, you could see throughout Genesis that he was really working on Jacob's heart. Jacob ended up, really wrestling with God for a while in the wilderness. And so but Leah wanted that adoration. She wanted that acceptance from her spouse. She wanted to be truly loved, like deep within her, and she didn't have it. And so she was incredibly jealous of her sister Rachel, and that is such a sad way to live. However, it's human nature. It's human nature to have all those feelings. It's human nature as a woman to want your husband or your spouse to love you. It just with this ooey gooey romantic love and adore you and really see your value, right? And whether it's whether you've been married for a long time and marriage waxes and wanes over time, or maybe you had that at the beginning of your relationship and then you married and all of a sudden things changed drastically. Maybe it was that you dated lots of people before and got a feel of like what you wanted, and then all of a sudden your spouse pops up and it's like, he's the one, and maybe deep down inside that you expected or that you accepted less than what you knew you were worth. And maybe there were some internal struggles that you you felt like that marriage would fulfill you on a different level, that you would feel that love, that you would feel that maybe you didn't get from your parents, or maybe you didn't get from your friends. And so you married anyway, right? And so here you are in this marriage, 1 year, 25 years, 30 years, however long it is, and you're still pining away at wanting to really be loved by that significant other. And that's painful, and it's lonely, and it's scary, and it is gut wrenching at times. You could see how Leah you could feel the pain as you read that chapter about her in Genesis, and you hurt for her. And so, there are probably women in this group, women you work with, women women in your family, women amongst your mom friends, that may be going through something very similar. And this is why we need community, right? We need community as women, because men are not going to fulfill that deep love that we need to have for the Lord first. So we have to love the Lord first. And then, we have to really love ourselves enough to respect ourselves and to cherish who we really are, that God's called us to be. And we can't make anybody love us. We can't make anybody care for us. We can't make anybody adore us like Christ did and does. And God still does. I mean, look at the blessings in your life. He's still blessing you. Are you noticing those blessings instead of noticing the pain within your home, the pain within your marriage? And so, I always heard this phrase, don't miss your blessings. Look really hard around you at what God has given you, and know that there is no person on the face of this earth. There is no one, nothing, no children, no grandchildren, no friends, no spouse that can fulfill that love deep within you other than the Lord. And if you are there right now and you're struggling with that, that's where He needs you to be. He needs you to fall in love with Him so hard that whatever anybody else does around you, it won't matter, because you know your value, you know your worth, and you know what you're called to do. Okay? And, I believe that, as women, we are supposed to be submissive to our husbands, but we also see in story after story, if you follow this for very long, of women that are in the Bible, sometimes you have to do really tough things that don't align with what's going on with your husband, because you are doing it for the Lord, right? Is it good? Is it wrong? Are you in sin doing it? If you're not, then look at that and go, you know what? Maybe this is what God is wanting me to do, so I can be a testimony to my husband, to my family, to my friends, right? And it could be something as simple as, not drinking, right? Maybe you're struggling and it's a secret and you're really struggling with that, right? But if you give it up, it's going to make everything so rocky in your marriage, or so rocky in your family. It's going to make other people feel uncomfortable, right? Because and maybe you're doing it because you're just trying to keep the peace, but He's put that inside you. Step away. I have more for you. I want you to break generational sins and habits. I want you to do the right thing. You're the one that I'm calling. And you put it down, and it's like, your husband gets upset, and family members get upset, and friends get upset, and, why are you doing that? And just causing all kinds of fun. And you're boring, and you're da-da-da-da. And guess what? God is going to take that pain, and it's going to glorify His name. So step into your calling, step into your purpose. Listen, the grit, to have the grit in this is so powerful. And this also could be about money. Maybe that y'all are spending irresponsibly, and you finally go, you know what, Hubs, I'm not going to do this anymore. I have to do what's best in the Lord, because I want to honor Him. He's blessed us with so much. I want to honor Him. and it's going to ruffle feathers, and it's going to make things uncomfortable. And you're going to have some really hard talks, and you're probably going to have to set some really firm boundaries. Those are the things that I'm talking about when I say sometimes you have to step into your God role, what God is calling you to do, what you know is right. Because deep down inside, God is calling you to do the right thing. He's calling you to change the path of your family. Okay? And so for Leah, he was trying to teach her to love him first, because he'll fulfill her. Okay, so whatever you're going through, God will fulfill you. Stop looking to others for love. Stop looking to others for answers. Listen, and I'm telling myself this too right now. You've got to step into who God's called you to do, and he will honor that. He will bless that. Watch. So find a community. Stay in the community that you're in, that you feel the most safe and secure in to do these things, because we are called to community, because others will lift us up when we can't lift ourselves up, right? When we're trying to do the right thing, we're trying to do what the Lord's calling us to do. So if you are in a hard place and you need prayer, and you need maybe to chat about some things, DMs are great. You're welcome to DM me anytime. So on that note, I hope that you found your power in the Lord, your love in the Lord, and you honor him in everything he's calling you to do, because you feel it in the Holy Spirit. You feel it in your gut. He resides in you. That's where our intuition comes from. So on that note, I hope you have an amazing day. Big virtual hugs to everyone. And remember, when you start feeling that uncomfortable feeling like Leah did, lean into God. Stop holding other people up on a pedestal, thinking that they're going to fulfill you, when God is the only one that can fulfill that longing. The only one. And as you just fall into that, and you fall into love with the Lord, watch what happens to the other people around you. They'll start changing too. Because that's the blessing from the Lord. And if they don't, that's on them and their walk. And that's not your responsibility. So, big virtual hugs. See you next time. Bye.